You're watching Alabama's 13 News.
The Birmingham School District is closing 7 more schools this summer. It already manages 15 other shuttered campuses around town. After confidential student records were recently discovered at one closed Birmingham school, we decided to check the security at the rest. John Papke reveals what he found as Alabama's 13 investigates abandoned schools.
When Brad Hobbs and Eastlake resident Richard Rutledge videotaped this discovery at the former Banks High School a few weeks ago,
attendance rosters. Okay. With social security numbers.
The student record security breach spearheaded a quick response. The Birmingham School District told us staff has been working to remove the items, and the city of Birmingham re-secured the gates which had been left wide open. But what Hobbs found in the school from which he graduated in 1978 motivated him to challenge student record security around the city.
What has happened in all the other schools in the Birmingham area that have been shut down? Were they handled like Banks was? Are there records sitting in vacant school buildings around this city? That is a huge question.
So big, in fact, he visited Birmingham City Hall the next Tuesday and issued a challenge to City Council.
Some kind of one-time compliance inspection or a search of the vacated properties be conducted to ensure that there are no more records with sensitive student information out there loose and available for vandals or looters to get their hands on.
City Councilor Kim Rafferty pointed out that the city is only responsible for 3 closed schools, including Banks. The other 15 fall under the supervision of the Birmingham School District. Rafferty said she spoke with Superintendent Dr. Craig Witherspoon about securing the confidential student records.
I asked, or I strongly urged him to go back and check all of the schools that had been closed, because he had been told when he came in that all the schools, the policy had been followed through.
So to test the security of the Birmingham School District's 15 closed schools, we conducted our own campus-by-campus inspection. We walked around the outside of each school with a camera to see if there were any open doors or windows. At many, like Gate City Elementary, the doors were welded shut, while others, like Tuxedo Elementary, were surrounded by locked security fences. But we also found a handful of security shortcomings.
There's a TV right there.
Out of the 15 we inspected, 9 of the closed schools had very few, if any, entry points, and we rated them secure. 3 others, Wilson Elementary, Powderly Elementary, and Arthur Elementary, were mostly secure. At Wilson Elementary, we found the door to a portable classroom open with a television inside. Powderly was locked up tight out front, but we found a few windows open around back, including this one, which revealed a stockpile of nursery furniture. Arthur Elementary's main building was secure, but this door to a portable classroom was wide open, with a filing cabinet a few feet away. That leaves Price Elementary, Riggins Alternative School, and Going Elementary. Those 3 campuses earned our unsecure rating. Let's start with Price. We found a portable classroom door unlocked, an open window, and the front door to the school unsecure. At Riggins, we noticed numerous open windows. We also found at least 2 unlocked doors, including this one propped open with a fire extinguisher. Finally, there was Going Elementary. We found more than a dozen unlocked doors there, including this one to a room containing at least 1 television for the taking.
TV right there.
We shared our findings with Birmingham School Board member Virginia Volker. How secure do you think those schools are?
I have asked the superintendent and I have not had a response.
I've gone to every single one of those schools and walked around the entire campus with a camera. Most of them are pretty secure, but I found at least 3 or 4 of them that had doors that were wide open, windows were wide open, electronics, filing cabinets that you could see from the window. Does that surprise you?
If you want me to, if you'll give me those specific places, I'll certainly call that to the superintendent's attention, and it does need to be addressed.
But unlocked doors and open windows were not all we found. Half a dozen of the closed buildings either still had the lights on inside or air conditioners cooling empty campuses.
Air conditioning being left on, I mean, I would assume that would cost quite a bit of money during this.
There may be some reason for that
Okay.
in terms of preserving certain materials.
Okay.
you know, of the building, I don't know. I could not tell you.
All right.
The superintendent should be able to tell you.
We thought he should be able to as well. That's why we not only asked for an explanation from the superintendent's office, we also filed an open records request for utility costs at the closed schools we mentioned. So far, they claim that, quote, air conditioning is left on in any facility after vacating to climatize the room where servers are located, end quote. As for the lights are on for security to support visibility since cameras are in operation, end quote. Back to Brad Hobbs's huge question, though. Are there records sitting in vacant school buildings around the city? We cannot say for sure. No trespassing signs posted on the outside of the buildings prevented us from taking our inspections inside. But if more records have been overlooked, based on the security breaches we did find, it would not take much for those records to end up in the wrong hands.
Everybody assumed on this, and everybody's heard the adage about what happens when you assume. And we're seeing the result of that now.
The school district has told us they are visiting other closed campuses to, quote, ensure procedures were followed in decommissioning those buildings, end quote. And since our initial inspections, we found that some of the unlocked doors and open windows are now secure. On another note, last week we told you we wanted to know how much money the school district spent on removing confidential records which previous crews had missed. We have learned this week they spent nearly $30,000 just on the most recent record recovery. Still no word on the name of the contractor or how much was paid to those who did not finish the job in years past. If you need someone to inspect how tax money is being spent in your town, email me at jpapke@wvtm.com. I'm John Papke. Alabama's 13 investigates.
To watch this or any of our other Alabama's 13 Investigates reports again, go to alabamas13.com/investigates. Still ahead on the news at 10, the head football coaches from Alabama and Auburn are making their rounds. We'll tell you about Nick Saban's ESPN appearance and when fans can catch Gus Malzahn. Jerry.
Mike, plenty of rain falling across the area the past 3 days, even some flooding issues with that. And folks, there's more coming. We'll take a look at that as we look at Interceptor Radar. You're watching Alabama's 13 News at 10, where accuracy matters.